without access to funds to buy their own land, without the actual land being given them to by the government, um, most of the freedmen fell into what are going to be called sharecropping or crop lien systems. Lien, Lien. Sharecropping and crop lien systems solve the problem of not having money to purchase the land. The problem is the freedmen were borrowing the land from the white owners, and they didn't have any money to initially pay rent. So the system that develops is that the freedmen would farm the land, and then they would share a percentage of their crop to pay off the debts that they owed the white owner. The problem with this is that although they could move away from the slave quarters and move on to their own land, away from the big house, the former slaves are going to be left in a position of economic dependence and destitution. You see, what happens is the freedmen would promise, say, 50% of their crop in order to stay on the land. But then they didn't have any money to buy seeds, so they'd promise another percentage. And they didn't have any tools, so they'd promise another percentage. And eventually what happens, especially when the price of cotton drops, is that not only do the former slaves owe this year's crop to the farm owner, the landowner, but they also owe next year's and sometimes even multiple years worth of crops just to pay off their debts. So they are tied to the land and they are economically dependent on the white landowner. And what we have is a situation very similar to slavery, except that the owners of the land are no longer responsible for providing food, clothing, and shelter. And not only are freedmen caught up in the system, but now the white poor farmers are as well. So if we look back at the goals of the Civil War for the white planter owners, having a dependent class of people economically dependent on them, they largely got this through the sharecropping system.